Well, guys, welcome to those of you that are joining us on Facebook. We are coming in live from Zoom, and it's just such a cool thing to be able to use the technology. And you might be watching us live right now. Maybe you're watching us on a replay later, but we really value and appreciate your time and attention. Today, we're really going to focus on the Modere product line, and specifically our Live Clean philosophy, our Live Clean message and mission, as well as our our collagen products and our stance in the collagen world, and as really the key leader in the collagen world. And you're going to hear this, really from, if you will, the horse's mouth. I mean that just saying, like, right from the top, from the very, very top, with our CEO, Asma Ishaq. Now, what's interesting about Asma is, in addition to having a background as a CEO, so as a businesswoman, she's also been a very successful entrepreneur, starting and founding her own business. She's also, in addition to that, had literally decades of experience in manufacturing. So not only does she understand kind of business and that kind of realm, and not only does she understand, entrepreneurship, but she at the deepest of level of anyone you'd ever meet understands product formulations and the manufacturing process. And then in addition to that, if there's more that someone could kind of do in one life, she's also been really instrumental in kind of the academic world. So when it comes to research and studies and science and validation, and she sits on multiple different boards in different arenas, including the Direct Selling Association, but also different product boards, where she works with companies, with coming up with really dynamic products, as well as understanding entire industries when it comes to products, fragrances, et cetera. And she can maybe touch more on that. But so she has, it's not just a good business person, or it's not just a product formulator, or it's not just an academic. It's someone that actually has all of those backgrounds all in one. And in addition to that, she's the CEO of Modere. In her first, I'm trying to think if I have my dates right, because last year, I believe, was her first full year. And, it was the most profitable year in the history of the company. Right now, as you guys know, we're having, extreme growth all over the world. And so a lot of that is due to her vision, her leadership, her expertise, and so on. So our goal today is to really go deeper on the products to help you to understand it at just a deeper level, the power of what you really have your hands on. And we're hoping that you can tag friends in this and family members in this and people that are interested about our products to say, why are these products so unique? What makes them so dynamic? And why does this Live Clean mission and these products, where do they fit in my life? So Asma, with that, I know you have maybe some slides, so I'll let you kind of take it from here. You can screen share, et cetera, but we are just so grateful. I know it's like, to say the least, it's a busy time. So for you to be able to take this time, it really means a lot to all of us. We really appreciate it. And we're excited to be able to pull our notepads out and just to really absorb and learn with the information you have.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Justin, for the kind words. I'm super excited to be here on this particular Zoom today, just to be able to, share with you, but also just to congratulate all of you, and especially Justin for, all of the success that you're having. So although in spite of his kind words, I will tell you that it takes two to tango here. So we are so grateful for all that you're doing to can actually perpetuate, the message that we have. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, like Justin said, we're going to focus on product today and exactly what makes Modere different and unique than any other company. Like you mentioned, it probably is worth me giving you a little bit of background of, me personally, just my I've been actually in the nutritional supplement and skincare, industry for over 25 years now. And actually even as a little girl. So I actually grew up in this industry. My dad used to be a bench chemist, a quality control, like bench chemist for a dietary supplement company in San Clemente, California, where I was raised and grew up. And even as a toddler, like I remember him bringing home samples of products for us to try. And somehow just very early on in my life, I made this, direct connection between what happens in the background and the perfecting process of developing products to the products that consumers see on, on shelves and such, and so, or on a website. And so I've been passionate about this for so long. And in fact, did something that was, a little bit more rare. Usually what happens is, a company might be really successful in the consumer world or space, and then they might go by the supply chain. I actually did the very reverse, where I actually started off in the supply chain, worked, mainly in manufacturing and then ingredient supply as well, upon discovery of our, collagen ingredient, and then went into starting my own finished product company in 2009, and then grew it and led it to an acquisition. It was a direct selling company as well, and led it to an acquisition by Modere in February 2017, and then I was appointed CEO at the end of that year, January 2018. So ever since, though, we've been just having just so much fun being able to collaborate and do just so much when it comes to uplifting our nutritional industry and such. And so it's been a dream come true to not only be able to work with a number of products that I've personally, kind of developed, but then also to be able to embody this, catalog of clean label product was really, really important for a couple of reasons. We can go into that in just a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that you also know that as an industry steward and participant, I actually think it's really important to be involved in policy, be involved in industry, and advocate for our different various industries. So I'm on a number of boards, like just mentioned, everything from, just Fragrance Creators Association to some of these more, specific nutritional types of associations, to actually chairing the Collagen Stewardship Alliance, which is the first time ever that a collagen association was actually developed. And so I'm really honored to be able to be appointed to that position, really overseeing the collagen industry pretty much all over the world as well. And then, of course, with the direct selling space as well. So let's go into what we're getting to talk about today, which is our product line. I'm going to share with you my screen here to show you I'm going to start off with, sorry, here, let me bring this back to here. So you should be able to see my screen here now. So let me start off with this, is that, even though we've been talking about some of the, success more kind of recently, it's important to know that our company has a 30-year history, 30 years plus history. So our company, when it was originally founded, was actually founded on this concept of something that was pioneering back then too. So the first, the product that went really viral for our company back when it was founded, that 3 decades ago, was Sls Free Shampoo. So even though we see Sls Free shampoos now and hair care products all over the world, really, it's so popular now that every major product line has one, or has like an Sls Free version and a more conventional version. We've been doing this for so long before it even became trendy. So I think if there's a way that you can probably, understand who we really are when it comes down to our product innovation philosophy, it is that we are leading in every way, cutting edge and disruptive, just like our values say, not just in our business model, but also our product philosophy. So our vision and our philosophy is based on this. And this is something that I've actually been working on this premise pretty much my entire career. And over time, you tend to develop even changes, that happen in the marketplace or with consumers about what they perceive to be safe or not. And you make those kinds of adjustments along the way as technology and science is evolving. But frankly, we have some really clear boundaries on what we will not, do or use. Everything that we, back is everything that we make is science substantiated, but we care about it being, just as safe as it is effective. So one without the other will not actually create any value for people. So we have over 100 different products in every one of our regions that we're in. Just beginning, from a number of everyday essentials like our household line to some personal care products, and then we have some really specialty products. Most of our product portfolio is a majority of it is health and wellness products, like the nutritionals, and then we're just as equally as strong though in all of our other areas too, like personal care and with household as well. Many people don't know this, but we have a 300,000 square foot manufacturing plant where we make over 70%, and now it's actually going to be increasing because we just expanded a number of our manufacturing lines to actually be able to take in more, even when it comes to what we actually produce ourselves in our own hands. And that is, again, over 70% of our products we make ourselves in our facility. And so it helps a lot when you have that kind of control, because it's just so you can be much more agile. You can go through, periods of growth and adjust accordingly, however you need to. And that's what makes it, just so much better to do it. Also, our facility is NSF for sport certified. That means it's been cleared of over 180 banned substances. So there's no fear of contamination. We actually do not make any pharmaceutical drugs or anything like that. So there's no worry about contamination either. We are also EPA Safer Choice label. We've earned that as well. And also, we're very close with the EWG organization, where we actually have created the first oral care, product line that is EWG verified in all of the world. And so, and also, all of our household products are confirmed gray water safe as well. So if you have a septic system and such, you know that the product, once you're, cleaning with it, that it will be completely safe for the gray water standards in most states and counties as well, in all of them. Now the next slide here, I just wanted to point out here, if you really want to know what our basis is for how we produce our different products, these are the ingredients that we just have committed to never using in any of our product lines. These are the really controversial ingredients. Like we talked about, we don't make any of our cleansing products or anything like that with SLS. We stay away from, of course, parabens and such. I'll give you another example too. Phenoxyethanol, we put that on the list more recently because over time it became a little bit more controversial, even though we, many years ago it was completely, not on the kind of watch list of certain ingredients. So when we find out that there is any convincing or important research that supports the lack of safety, then we adjust, and that's what's really important for us. It will also tell you this, is having been in our this manufacturing space for so long, I've always had this gripe, meaning that you'd find different companies who would be a little bit more flexible than others, or cut different corners, and that's something that was so wholeheartedly important to me. And when I, first came to Modere, I found that our regulatory department and quality department are absolutely stellar. Like, they are in the top 10% of companies. When, again, we are this company, but what had already existed, had already really impressed me from that perspective. And that was really critical and important. Especially because I work within this industry so much, it's really important to make sure that our reputation is a gold standard, of course. Let me switch a little bit to now the liquid Biocell products. And by the way, I'd be happy to take any particular questions as well after this presentation. So, we've had tremendous success in the collagen space and industry. In fact, we've been recognized time and time again, and that's because our research in collagen actually goes back more than 20 years ago, when collagen supplements weren't even being talked about at all, and so the vision was to be able to, establish this very unique discovery that we had with clinical evidence, and through the popularization of that kind of, belief that these products were actually effective, whereas the medical community back then did not believe so, that we would be able to open up and actually spearhead this like multi-billion-dollar market, and frankly, that's exactly what, we have been able to do, and leading that charge. And now it's so, it's prevalent enough that 89% of consumers that actually have been asked if they are who purchase supplements are familiar with collagen. Now, if you took that stat even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, even 5 years ago, it was very, very, very different. The most important thing, though, to remember is that just because collagen is popular does not mean that it's all the same or that's even effective. In fact, the reason why the nutritional industry started a collagen stewardship alliance, it's the Collagen Trade Association, is because we want to make sure we protect this space from all the bad players who are exploiting just the word collagen to try to be, try to compete in this space. When actually it's in all fairness, it's just absolutely, offensive, especially with all the millions of dollars of research, expenses that we have had done in order to pave this path anyway to popularization of these products. So you're going to see this, product line. We have Liquid Biocell Life. You see there in the red letters. This was the very first Liquid Biocell product. Then the others kind of grew out of this concept of, the active ingredient. I'll go into that in just a moment. It has certain benefits, but really it was just making sure that the market could and consumers perceived exactly what the benefits were of this certain product. So let's go into that a little bit. So I'll give you kind of a little background of what collagen is, and our product is not collagen. So when people try to compare our product to collagen, it's like comparing apples to oranges. It's cringeworthy for me because it is really undermining what importance our product has. Actually, our active ingredient is a matrix, a biological matrix that exists on its own, not a formula or a blend of different components of both hyaluronic acid and collagen. And so there's nothing like it in all of the market, and I'll go into the reasons why. But let me start here. These two molecules are so critical and important to one's life. In fact, they are literally responsible for how we perceive aging, with our own bodies and skin, and how we perceive other people's age. It has everything to do with how much collagen content they have, how much HA they have in our bodies. So when we're very young, we are born with an abundance of hyaluronic acid and collagen. We're actually growing more collagen as we're aging a bit, and then it starts to decline too. So whereas HA, we just start to really decline, since we're very young, our ability to synthesize it and maintain healthy levels of it. Now, this is important. The distinction between the two is really important, though, and this is why people don't get results when they use a competitive product. Okay, and this is the key here. Collagen is, think of a brick wall. In fact, I have one right behind me, but think of the bricks of that brick wall being the collagen molecules, and the mortar around the brick is hyaluronic acid. HA are the cell, this is the component in our bodies that is responsible for all the moisture binding properties of our tissues. And so this means that without HA, we look dehydrated. Our skin looks wrinkled. We aren't even able to be as flexible because you need a lot of moisture in your joints and your cartilage in order for you to be able to, bend and do cartwheels and flips and things like that when we used to do it when we were younger. And then collagen, it's the strength of of all of our tissues, right? And so it's the most abundant protein in our bodies. It is, in fact, it's important to, our bone structure, but in our cartilage, our tendons, ligaments, our connective tissues, blood vessels are comprised of collagen too. We, even our eyes are comprised mainly of collagen. So what happens when we're aging, we grow collagen because obviously we have to grow skin, right? We have to grow our organs, so we have to grow our bones. And then what happens is after we stop growing and start to reach a little bit past that adulthood, in our 20s, it starts to decline. So we stop synthesizing collagen at the rate that we used to. And so what we want out of everything, and especially if you've ever gone to an esthetician or a med spa, the whole objective that anyone will ever try to poke you with a needle or give you injectables or anything like that is to do one thing. And you can ask your doctors and your derms and all of that, whenever you want to, but they're going to tell you there's one single purpose for them to administer any kind of, injections like Botox or anything like that. It is basically for the purpose of synthesizing collagen. So even microneedling procedures, that's when people get there's this pen, that they use at the dermatologist's office where they actually poke your skin with like tiny, tiny, tiny little holes. And and sure, it's painful, but it's the reason why they're doing that is because they're trying to create little tiny kind of ruptures in your skin in order for your body's natural reaction to kick in. The natural reaction that our body has when we cut our skin, it's to synthesize collagen, HA, so we can grow it back. So they're doing by cutting your skin that many times, and we're talking about like millions of needles in the skin, is to kick the body's natural reaction to synthesize collagen, to grow collagen. So you can do this by injection, by putting something in your skin that's going to help to proliferate, more collagen cells. You can do it by inserting hyaluronic acid. HA is just like that moisture binding complex that I talked about, is a clear gel-like substance. So think of, the glossy cover on your eyes is basically like pure HA. And so when they put HA into your skin, they're actually trying to put little mini fillers, implants into your skin to be able to, bend out that fold that was created. So as you can see on this image here, as a young baby and a child, you have lots of collagen and HA. As you're growing, you're basically just dehydrating from the inside out. So this is, and by the way, when you dehydrate, when you develop wrinkles in your skin, it's because you're losing collagen at the deepest layers of the skin, at the deep layers of your dermis. This is not something that just exists, just topically on the surface layers of your skin. That's why this product has been so profound when it comes to opening up the entire space of collagen supplements as they exist today. The correlation or association of that word collagen to beauty, which didn't happen, until really we came onto the map and became an exemplary, product and business model for that. So what you're going to see here is just, the different kind of benefits of liquid Biocell. We have multiple industry awards. There's so many that I wouldn't be able to even, I feel like now at this point, we're going to start boring people with listing off the number of awards that we have, which is a good problem to have. But we have 7 US and international patents. Those patents cover everything from the composition of this active ingredient. It covers, the processing of it as well, the claims that are made on it too. So all of that is covered as well in on our product. Probably, and I'm going to go through a number of different kinds of claims here, but we can make the kinds of claims that it supports, joint health to it reducing wrinkles. And we don't have to say appearance of wrinkles. We can actually say it reduces wrinkles when it comes to this nutritional product, the ingestible one. And so there's a number of factors here that I can show you, but the reason why we can say all of these things is because we have over, at this point now, almost a couple dozen clinical trials and research on our specific proprietary ingredients. This is not on just general collagen, just on our specific active ingredient, and one human clinical trial that was also done on our finished product too. So it is absolutely the most important thing about supplements or anything that you're taking is that it's supported by research, by specific research to that product, and not necessarily to just ingredient science. You really miss out when you're taking a product and you assume it's something just because you've had, associate different studies to research to it, but it's not that case. The other thing that's really important is that these clinical trials are done on humans, and that they're randomized, placebo-controlled clinical trials. And not only that, but the number of subjects as well is really important. We just announced the results of another new research on our active ingredient that had over 125 human subjects in it. And so the previous one to that had, about 89 human subjects in that set. These are large enough samples to see significant results. And then on top of it, we have, over this time period, we've sold, billions of doses of this every year. And so, and it is our really spearheading the global growth of the company too, based on this efficacy. So it is our, we pretty much go hand in hand when it comes to our weight management line, and then our liquid Biocell line basically is the top revenue generators of the company. Liquid Biocell also has the highest retention rate for any product at Modere as well. So when people start on this product, they take it month after month after month. I've been taking it now for so long, you don't even want to know how long, but almost a couple of decades now, but I will say that, and it's so important to be able to take this. I know we just went over how young people have a lot of collagen HA, but even younger people, like my daughter, for example, she's 22 years old. She has been taking this for several years. And I just keep thinking, like, there's another way I could clone her and watch and see what she looks like when she's 40 years old, if she wasn't taking the product, and what she looks like when because she is. Her life will be very, very different. It's undeniable the amount of research that's behind healthy levels of collagen and hyaluronic acid to one's life. And it's not just for, vanity or vain purposes either. So let's go into this a little bit more. Remember I mentioned something about our product, which is unique, which is that its composition makes it such that it is so valuable for people, but because it is not just pure collagen. Also, there's no such thing as just pure collagen, because there's over, a couple dozen types of collagen, and I'll go into that in just a second. But, it really matters, because everywhere that collagen exists, it exists other molecules as well. Hyaluronic acid is its like basic sister molecule that it exists with. One's responsible for the turgidity and strength of the tissue structure, and the other one's responsible for the moisture it carries. And so, again, it's not a blend. In nature, out of a single source, there is, this is where we derive our ingredient. It actually is the only place in nature. This is what's fascinating about this, is that it's the only place known to mankind, at least to my knowledge, and I've been, on this research now for a couple decades, but this particular, piece of, where it comes from sternal cartilage of chicken. And basically above that sternum, on that sternum bone, there's some cartilage. This is only the few millimeters of that cartilage at the very top. And so it reaches no blood to, it doesn't receive any of the nutrition of the animal or anything like that, because it doesn't reach any of the bloodstream of the animal either. It is only that little piece though, okay? This is why this is so important, is that all the other products that you see, most of the other products that you see on the market are going to be derived from, all kinds of different, animal skin and hooves and bones and such, in order for them to derive that collagen. And it's a mix of all of that. Ours, it comes from only that one tiny little piece. So you can imagine, it's so very unique. And the reason why it's only derived from that little tiny piece of that cartilage is because it is the only place in nature where the same composition of collagen to HA to chondroitin sulfate exists in the same way that it exists in our own human cartilage. So we actually believe that ingesting this takes, the reason why it's so effective is that our body recognizes it, and again, it can't do that for anything else. A lot of companies on the market have tried to mimic this unique fact that's only, privy to us with this active ingredient. But I think that a lot of other companies try to complete their formulation by having a collagen product and then try to take HA from another source, try to, mix it all together from different places, different sources. And again, it doesn't create the same kind of benefits that our product does. And so you're also going to see that because our product is derived from cartilage, it's comprised of mainly type 2 collagen, which is more rare and scarce, more expensive, more, exclusive as well in the marketplace as it exists. But the reason why that's important is because most of the products that you'll see in the marketplace right now is usually type 1 and 3 collagen. And type 1 and 3 exists in the skin, whereas type 2 exists in cartilage. What's fascinating about our product is that we've also gone a step further. So not only does it have type 2 collagen, chondroitin sulfate, hyaluronic acid, but all of these molecules are way too big for our bodies to digest. And that was the big issue. The medical community did not believe collagen supplements would actually be effective because these molecules were way too large for our systems to be able to handle. It would just pass right through our system. And so we identified this precise molecular weight range where we found it to be bioavailable in the human body. So if it was smaller than this molecular size, it was not as bioavailable. If it was larger, it wasn't bioavailable. So we patented that precise molecular weight range, and we process our, we process our ingredient to that size specifically so that it has the most bioavailability as well. Now, how do we know that all of this is, effective or true of anything, all the things that I'm saying here? Again, human clinical trials. So when we started doing research upon the initial discovery, it was important to prove the concept in clinical trials. So we have a number of human clinical trials that are randomized, randomized, placebo-controlled, and done in humans. And so you'll find one of the most critical benefits of this, and actually way back when, today collagen is more associated with beauty, and it's more familiar in that kind of mind or perception. However, this has been so highly effective on joint health that in the beginning, it was mainly known for its joint health benefits. And so we saw significant improvement, 40% difference between the placebo and the the individuals, the humans in the clinical trials who were taking it on joint discomfort. So it's a pretty remarkable difference. And not only did it display positive benefits, and by the way, these are in peer-reviewed, IRB approved, medical journals, on PubMed, the research here, and also the clinical research organizations that have done these studies are independent, and they're also IRB approved, which means that the research that they do can be published in peer-reviewed medical journals. So although it showed joint discomfort is just one measurement of one's quality of life when they have any joint problems, but there's other metrics as well. We saw significant improvement on all measures of the WOMAT scale, which is what they use to measure there's a number of consistent, metrics that they use to measure someone who has any joint health problems. That includes things like activity levels, mobility, their flexibility, their quality of life, the discomfort level too. So they're measuring this at different periods and see a remarkable improvement in people's joint health. The other thing that we've tested, you'll see in this figure 3 that you see on the screen here, is that we've also seen the effect that the ingredient has on production of new, collagen once taking this supplement. And so you can see that liquid Biocell, which is called, hydrolyzed collagen type 2, proliferates more collagen type 2 than any other kind of collagen product, and of course the control as well. Now we talk a lot about the joint health now, and let's switch over to skin benefits a little bit. So naturally, if we have more HA and collagen in our bodies, we'll be less wrinkles. Wrinkles develop because the ground substance, basically the deeper layers of the dermis, the extra cellular matrix actually depletes the collagen cells. So you start to get folds in your skin. That's how you develop wrinkles. And not only that, but then if you are missing HA, you're not going to look as hydrated and supple. Your skin isn't going to look that way. Our study showed that taking the product, within 28 days, you had a 6,000% increase in hyaluronic acid levels. So imagine 6,000% increase. And so no wonder, and then the other thing that we found was that people were reporting dramatic results within even the first week of taking the product. And it makes sense after looking at this under one of our studies where it showed that a lot of that spike in HA levels in one's body escalated during that first week of taking the product. So people see results, quickly with this, and then they'll start to see it over time, that they're visible effects as well. Now, so we're elevating levels of HA, we're increasing synthesis of collagen. We're also doing something else, which is important here too. It is actually inhibiting the enzyme that's breaking down these important molecules too. So that what breaks down hyaluronic acid in our body is hyaluronidase, and what breaks down collagen in our body is collagenase. So we tested it on inhibition of hyaluronidase, and we could see that it had suppressed our body's breakdown of hyaluronic acid, which is remarkable because it means that you are able to retain moisture and that radiant looking skin, and also our connective tissues have more moisture and flexibility as well. We also saw that it was a dose dependent reaction. So the more you took of this, the more we saw that result. So that's why people take, obviously we recommend our recommended dose because that's what our clinical research, allows us to do so, but, to substantiate our claims. But we know that if you're taking more of it too, that people will likely to see, like a faster result or more powerful results. So when people are having, real more severe issues, we, think it's totally safe to take it. Instead of just 1 tablespoon twice a day, you can take 2, twice a day. And so we see lots of people having really positive results with that too. And as far as safety, before I move on to this one here, but we've done a toxicology study as well that showed the active ingredient was safe at even 33 times its dose for 90 days straight, had no effect on any of the organs, no problems or adverse effects were reported at all during the study. So, and also now we've been, we have so much experience with this for so many years now that we can see that it's, extremely, safe in that sense. Now, the other thing that's remarkable, so as I said, this is bringing the moisture back into your skin. Well, one of the human clinical trials that we did, we looked at, women who were taking this product at the beginning, measured all of their, different kind of metrics there on, hydration, their skin density, their skin volume, and used equipment to measure this. This is again a CRO who conducted this, and then measured again at 12 weeks. We did another one where we measured it again at 8 weeks as well. We had another one done on this. It kept replicating. These results continue to replicate, which means that this is beyond statistical significance, the results here. But we saw that dryness and scaling without even using any topical moisturizers was decreased almost down to nothing by the end of the clinical trial. So this is just absolutely remarkable to see the result that that this product has in that sense. And of course, I think one of of importance to mention here is just the proof is really in what people see and feel. So we've seen a number of different just amazing, remarkable results. And I can tell you right now that I hear so many people talk about their results, and every single time I hear from them, it's like the first time I'm ever hearing it, because it is so meaningful for people. You know, this kind of improvement, although it's just, you know, what we might perceive as visible, gives people their confidence back. You know, it gives people just so much of their life back in different ways, especially the ones that are affected with their joint health by it, because you know, people can't, you know, move around. They can't, you know, play with their kids. They can't do the kinds of things that they want to do unless they're using the product. And that's why it's got such a high retention rate too. Now, we've also been able to take this active ingredient and make it into a cosmetic version, meaning something that would go into topical. So, and sure enough, as we did the research on even the topical, we found that it was turning, it was actually creating results that was, you know, very similar to the one that was ingestible, creating more hydration, creating, you know, better quality skin. We saw in the, you know, we've done 2 different clinical trials now with our topical line, which is our cell-proof line, but it uses the same collagen HA matrix technology. You'll see that on our logo wherever we include our liquid biocell active ingredient, both in the ingestible, both and as well as the topical. But you'll see that there's tremendous results here. You know, hydration is improved, skin tone is improved. We see skin texture, skin density, exfoliation as well is also benefiting from the topical version. Here's just some results here too. You know, we saw some pretty dramatic effects on skin tightening. We saw, you know, great reports of hydration and moisturization. People felt more confident in their skin. People would obviously recommend it if it created these benefits. And you can take a look here on the before and afters, what kind of results that, you know, you can, you know, expect to see with even just the topical products as well. So let me do this. I'm going to stop screen sharing here and check to see if there's any particular questions that I can answer. That's great. And thanks so much, MB, for mentioning that too. So yep, endurance running. I hear this all the time. And by the way, you don't know what you don't have until you have it, right? So it's hard to sometimes even know how life-changing that can be until you actually have that problem and it goes away. And it's just beautiful to see. So I've seen such amazing, significant results on that. And then I see here as well, Mary Beth. Great, perfect. Thank you for, yes, of course, thank you. So I don't see any questions on here specifically, but if there are questions, I'd be happy to answer any of them. Maybe what I'll do is just mention the difference between our collagen and other collagens that are on the market. You'll see like marine collagen, for example. Again, you know, a different type of collagen doesn't have hyaluronic acid in it. It's not naturally occurring. Some companies might try to add it, you know, to try to more complete their formula a little bit, to be a little bit more like us, because we really set that, you know, it really set the validation for why it was so important to have both, you know, collagen and hyaluronic acid and chondroitin sulfate. The effects are just incomparable as far as what we have seen too. Now, there are so much more research being done on collagen. So I am right now pursuing some additional research in different areas. So when we lose collagen and our eyes start to shape, you know, change shape, it affects people's vision, of course. You know, that's how people, 85% of people who are over 55 have a dry eye, you know, and that means that, you know, again, increased HA will help with that. There's really nothing in the market that, besides maybe omega-3, that's been helpful for that. This has actually been, you know, reportedly we have results on that too. We also, collagen does actually, healthy levels of collagen are so incredibly important for sleep levels as well. It is, it's important for our hair, nails, not just our skin. There's one travel size product that we do have, Joe, to answer your question, with the singles products. and you can use that during travel. And I also see is there research on the lean body system. So we've actually, yes, there's research on the different products there. Right now, we're really a lot of ingredient research and ingredient science as well. The product trim actually has some of the liquid Biocell active ingredient in it too, so it kind of gives you an additional boost of that collagen that you would want to take in addition to the normal, suggested dose as well. All right, great. Well, there are no more questions here, but
Asma, you are amazing. One question that came in on the Facebook group was on leaky gut. And I don't know if collagen has an effect on leaky gut that you can talk about at all, one way or the other.
Yeah, collagen is so important for that mucus lining in our gut. So, by the way, when that lining goes away, that's how leaky gut actually starts to happen. So there needs to be additional research on this, but there are rising studies being done on this. We're actually pursuing something in this line as well. I think collagen is incredibly important to healthy gut. It's incredibly important for that, and for even cognitive process. Our brains are also comprised of, HA and collagen too.
Another one that I've gotten is, does it matter if you space out your doses? Doses meaning the times that you're consuming the product, or is your body capable of absorbing as much as you can take?
So collagen has a half-life about 12 hours. That's why we recommend the split dosage. So that's why we suggest 1 tablespoon in the morning, 1 tablespoon in the evening. That's the optimal way to be able to take it. And so, will it still work? Will it still be effective if you just took it once a day? Yes, it will be. It probably won't be. But if you want optimal maximum benefits, then it's best to do a split dose there.
Can you just dive in just a little deeper on the chickens that are used, the sternum piece, but specifically, do we know, for example, where they're farmed, or are they ethically raised, and those types of questions?
Yes, so we only contract with U.S. and European, farms. Also, they are humanely treated. They're antibiotic free. They are hormone free as well. And again, this is not the tissue or bones or other parts, like even skin or other organs used like a lot of other collagen products are. Ours is specifically only a few millimeters of that cartilage above the sternum, which is just so precisely used, and it's a byproduct. So we actually don't harm any chickens for our use whatsoever. It's a byproduct of what's already being commercially used.
You mentioned, I mean, I know your personal nutrition, you're basically vegan. I think you maybe use fish occasionally, but you're really vegan, and yet you still use this product. How, just kind of, how do you get there? I know a lot of other people that you've talked to, they feel similar when it comes to the way that the product is formulated. So can you maybe just touch on that?
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's all about, one's, personal philosophy. So it's not to influence anyone or anything like that, but I actually, even the founder of the raw foods movement, I've had a lifelong relationships, with a number of people that are really influential in the nutritional world, who take our product, that are vegans as well. And the reason why is because the benefits really outweigh the cost in the sense, for all of the reasons that we're part of my dedication to vegan, and actually being a little even more stringent about it now, is environmental reasons as well, right? So the way that, again, this is a byproduct. We're not actually doing anything to to the animals for our product in general. It's a byproduct of what's already being used. So if anything, we're taking, we're actually making good use out of something that would have gone, underutilized or to waste. The other thing is that it reaches none of the, the bloodstream of the animals. It's not actually even connected to the bone itself or to the bloodstream. It reaches none of the nutrition of the animal either. So one other thing I will point out is that because ours is derived from one particular, source, a lot of our competitor products, you might find them coming in like large tubs of, product, right? Like powders and things like that. And the reason why is because like hydrolyzed collagen, that is derived from so many different sources, like, the skin and the bones and everything else, and the structure, the cartilage structure of the animal, in addition to the skin. You need to have at least 20 grams of that material for it to show even the minimal benefits in clinical research. So 20 grams, think about that. That's 20 grams of something would take more than like 10 capsules, to get at least.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry.
No. So our active ingredient is actually effective at the small doses that you see here, because again, it's very, very different than just the generic, hydrolyzed collagen products out there on the market, and so precise.
What about the chews, the Biocell chews, which by the way are like that's like my, if you ever saw my travel bag, it's full of Biocell chews, but are they just as effective? And if so, how are they just as effective as the liquid?
Yeah, they are actually. They have the same component, same potency of the active ingredient as the liquid does. And so perfect example for the person who was asking about the travel as well. Again, it's the same potency. Liquids tend to be much more bioavailable because you're actually starting to digest. Your digestive system actually starts in your mouth, right? So when people are taking liquids, they're just much more effective for a couple of reasons. Of course, the digestive system there as well. You have more capillaries underneath your tongue than anywhere else in your body. It's the fastest way to get nutrients into your system. The other reason that liquids are also better if they taste good is that the person who's taking it is actually going to be more compliant. So there's actually research that dates back like 30 years ago and even more recent, where they've done trials looking at patients who had to take certain medications, trying to determine whether or not they would take them. It turns out that it is people just do not like to take lots of pills, and certainly not many times a day. When you have something that tastes good, it's easy for them to remember. They take it once in the morning, once a night. They're done with it. It's just they're going to be able to get so much more of the efficacy of the product because they're taking it.
When it comes to the liquid Biocell matrix in trim, like for example, if you take 2 Biocell doses in a day, that's let's call it a full serving or a full dose. How is the trim a half dose or is the trim a full dose?
So the trim is going to be about half of the dose of the liquid daily serving of the liquid Biocell. So what we recommend doing, the best way to do it is really to continue to take your liquid Biocell twice a day and add the trim just, in the morning. That gives you an extra amount of the collagen, so that you're, kind of, like I said, it's dose dependent, so you'll get an extra boost of it. But if you didn't want to take the full dose of liquid Biocell and you wanted to really kind of, make it as efficient as possible, in that sense, cost effective as possible, I would take the trim in the morning, take the liquid Biocell, at night. 1 serving of trim is the same amount of liquid Biocell active as the 1 tablespoon of the Biocell.
Is there any benefit for switching? The question was saying, like, are you better off sticking with one Biocell product or alternating? So for example, Life in the morning, Pure at night, or whatever. Is there any benefit that way at all?
It's actually, it's okay to take it, again, the only effective thing is that you want to take it a little bit apart because of that, half-life. But the 12-hour half-life, but it's okay to take it in the morning, take it at night, and sometimes you have, sometimes even the antioxidants give you energy, if you're taking liquid Biocell Life or Sport or Skin, for example. And so if it gives you energy, and that's the only thing I would say is that if you notice that or something, not because of any caffeine, it has no caffeine or anything like that in it, but take it a few hours before you go to sleep if you're, really sensitive to antioxidants.
Okay, I know we're coming up against a hard stop here, so I'll just kind of rapid fire. Is there a max dosage per pound of body weight? So in other words, weigh 120 pounds, is it less than someone that weighs 220 pounds?
We have done the trials, because it comes back to the clinical evidence that we have on people who are an average. I mean, when they do studies, they usually do it based on kind of like the average, human size, which is usually around 150 pounds. And so because it is dose dependent, yes, like if someone is much larger than that, like twice as much of that weight, then it actually would be better to take additional, in proportion to it. For example, for horses, the reason why we have the dosing that we do for the horses with the liquid Biocell equine is because an average horse weighs 1,100 pounds. And so you're going to need a lot more of the product, almost 10 times as much, for it to be just as effective. So if that answers your question, I think that's probably what it is. There's no maximum. I mean, we haven't identified a maximum. If anything, it's just going to become more and more expensive. You don't want to waste your money by taking weight, much more than you need to. But at the same time, if you need an extra boost or help, then you can certainly double up or triple up on this without any harmful effects, because it's, again, it's a protein. It's a natural product in that sense as well. So we haven't seen any adverse effects in our toxicology studies at way more times that.
Well, guys, just in the interest of being respectful to her time, we're up at a hard stop here. But Asma, oh my goodness, this was so helpful. By the way, I didn't mention this at the first. Today, I've been just kind of jamming on meetings, but and this happens often, by the way, that you're either being, recognized with a new organization or a board or a new award, or the products are being recognized. But today you won the Nutri Champion Award, which is really exciting and huge. Congrats. Can you just, before you leave here, just explain to us what that means? What is that organization? What does that award specifically mean?
Yes. So first of all, thank you so much. It's been literally like a dream come true. Like I couldn't even imagine, like just even as a young, like teenager, like I would, dream of that kind of an opportunity to be honored by the nutritional supplement industry. But it's basically kind of like a lifetime achievement award. They give it to only individuals who have like really made a long lasting impact. And so this is great for us, for our company, because it is, it basically validates the fact, and what they've recognized us for is actually creating the collagen market as it exists today, right? So and not only that, but like also I'm so thankful to everyone at Nutri Ingredients, but some of the things that they pointed out was really really kind of helped to put this into perspective, I think too. I've been in this industry based on this authentic and pure passion for science and research in many different areas. Collagen, yes, especially that really kind of grew for many reasons, and there was demand for it. But on the supply side and manufacturing and regulatory, and I'm an advocate for the industry in many ways. Have given my time to make sure that we protect all of this industry and space, because none of it is immune to problems or regulations and such that could prevent us from, doing the kinds of things that we love and believe in, and especially having grown up with this like alternative medicine, kind of mentality, making sure that we preserve it for the, for everyone's health and benefit is really critical and important. So I've devoted my life to that. And it was just really great to have that honor. And again, I think when it comes to that collagen, world, and actually even when it comes to natural products in general, we make conscious decisions about how we make our product, and we've been doing it for a long, long time. This is, we're not, our opportunity is our product, right? So that's the only way that we can create value, real value for people. And that's evident by what our model shows, right? We have over 85% of our revenue comes from customers who continue to purchase month after month after month. We've had a record growth rate right now where we're seeing that retention there as well. And as challenging of a year as 2020 has been, what we've just seen come to surface is people's dedication to the things that they value the most. And that means that, it's been great to see that our products have created enough health benefits for people that that they want to continue to take them.
That's so exciting. Well, congratulations. I'm going to give you one last question. I'm so sorry, but I think this is an important one. It basically says, the question is there any reason to get off of the collagen? So for example, like, you're on it for a period and then it's good to maybe get off for a period and then get back on. Is there any reason to get off of the Biocell or the trim? Is there any science or reasons to kind of go on, go off?
So just really simply and basically, for the liquid Biocell, no, there's no reason why you would want to. There's no such kind of like tapering, like a benefits or plateauing of benefits or anything like that. Remember that our bodies synthesize a limited amount of these molecules of collagen and hyaluronic acid and chondroitin sulfate. So we need the extra help as much as we possibly can get. Actually, when we see people stop taking it, they start to see their joint, discomfort come back. Does it mean that your wrinkles are going to come back like the day after you stop taking it? No, you won't. It's just, because it's actually working at the root cause of the issue, which is actually building the deeper layers of the dermis with more of that, structure. It's not going to go away, but obviously it's not going to change your body's normal level at your age of collagen synthesis, if that makes sense. You'll go back to what you did before without the extra help. So you're going to, obviously it's going to catch up to you at some point. Now with trim, the studies have been done to show, like, people see continual effect of that. In fact, elevated response even between months 4 through 6. But the research that has been done is that after about a year, it actually helps to maintain the weight loss, weight management control benefits. And then, but the longest studies have been about 2 years. And so we can see that, again, after the first year, it works more of a kind of maintaining that new kind of body composition. So I would say, like, you would probably want to go at least a year before you kind of like take a break. If you want to, if you want to benefit from the continual help it gives you.
Well, again, thank you so much. This has been beyond kind of informative, and the deep dive on understanding. It was funny. I was reading some of the comments. They're like, I just went and took some of my Biocell. So, as you hear this, you're like, I'm in. Like, I don't ever want to get off this stuff. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. And congratulations again on the NutriChampion Award. What an incredible accomplishment and well-deserved. So thank you. Thank you everyone for jumping on. Really appreciate everyone's time and attention. Tag your friends and so on in this video, and share these products with them as well. Thanks so much again, Asma. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Justin. Good night, everyone.